All right, I think I finally got this stupid thing connected. I've been trying to get in here. So let's look at some components here. We went up, we failed to take the opening range high. We double tapped that high, and then we didn't really put up a fair value gap. Let me let me pull it up over here on this side. So this is the first presentation fair value gap. That would be our breaker. We got below it, had some volume imbalances, but we really didn't have any fair value gaps. This was the first presentation fair value gap. That's what I used when we got under it. Another volume imbalance. And then we finally put a tiny little one up right there. And so that's where I did my entry right. I got in at 145. And I'm aiming for settlement. That's what I'm hoping for. Um, I did take one other trade. I've actually had four trades today. I took one, the pure gamble, and pre-market when we took out the high of this gap in pre-market, but it continued up quite a ways. And then we put in a reversal pattern up here in pre-market. Let me show you that. Um, right here is a reversal pattern in pre-market. So I did go short here, but when we got in this chop, I decided to go ahead and kill it. And that just got me back to even. And then we go back to regular trading hours. This little breaker here was my nemesis. So I was looking at a 15-second breaker over here, and we validated it. It was looking good, and then we had a double tap of the low. And so that one cleaned me out. This push down, I killed it. That was $30 loss. Push down again, I killed it, another $30 loss, and that's what put me $60 in the hole. And you can see my account is very badly depleted from over trading and just behaving like an idiot. I'm going to look at this 15-second breaker here and just see if we've gotten past it. My original one was here. We were past it. This one, we're well past it. So filling the gap is a possibility here. We may just take the low. It's hard to say if we're going to push all the way down to here. I'd love to see it happen. I've got these 4-hour highs marked, but we opened above them. This is yesterday's afternoon low. I mean, it's a possibility we could go down there, I guess. And I depleted my account so far that I'm down to trading just one micro so I can get it built back up. Um, this is the only account I've had for 4 weeks. Got one XFA and that's it. And I've really been focusing on it, but I've also been stressing out a lot about needing money and when you try to make more money, you end up losing more money. And that's what I've been doing, is losing. So we're into this 1 minute fair value gap here, and we're also dancing around round number. That's the 1 minute fair value gap to the upside right there. We did get almost all the way through with candle bodies. Revisiting round number is not really all that alarming. Not where I would want to kill this trade. I think it's far enough down that I can actually move my stop to the top of this fair value gap. Be all right. And hopefully we'll continue to push. I'm not going to make a lot of money on this trade, but right now I just need a winning day. I showed on the last couple of videos my performance. This yesterday was day 6, I think, and I'm qualified for a payout in this XFA. I had 5 qualifying days, and so I could take a payout, but $150. Come on, why? I was at the end of last week up $2,000, and then I've just been trading terribly this week. Not reading the market well, but I feel like I got a decent read on this one. Oh boy, don't do that to me. What did Trump say? No, no. What are you doing to me here? Trump had to have said something. I know there was a Fed person supposed to speak today around noon. I got to take it off. Ted gummit. That's the way my trading's been going. We'll get some news blurb or something, and this crap will happen. And it's probably going to go where I expected it to, but why did we do that? And now I want back in. Look at that. Where's this coming from? That's not right now. Current time is 10:45. And we had this. That was an hour ago. I don't see anything. There must have been a tweet. That's quite a run. So, where was our fair value gap? Right there. We went right back to it. I'm going to try to get back in. Yeah, we went right back to my entry there. And I don't know if it would be a good idea to try to get back in here. It's London close. We just had London close, and that's what all that sell-off might have been. Yeah, I'm going to try to get back in right here at 20, maybe. I got to do it over here. I don't know. Right now, I validated breaker to the upside, but I don't see it happening. This is some volatile crap. Maybe I should just let it fester for a minute. That was a 100-point push back to the upside. But it did touch that fair value gap to the tick. So I think somebody, 85-point push. I think somebody wanted to buy up there. I'm going to try another one right here. We're in that fair value gap. And I think down is where we're headed. Yeah, there we go. So my entry was based on this fair value gap right there with a volume imbalance, followed by another one. And this is the fair value gap that we did not violate. So I need to go to break even just in case something bad happens here. I still want my take profit down here at settlement. We could rip lower just as quickly as we ripped higher. I would like to see it come down here and get into this N log. This gray box is the new week opening gap, and then this box is, we had two gap down, gap up situations. If we do like a 1 hour and over here on this side, regular trading hours, let's go to 1 hour. Okay, regular trading hour, 1 hour. So you can see we have this gap. We have this little one here, but we already worked it. And then we have this one, and then this was the new week opening gap, and then we have this one. I don't know that we'll offer that low today, but if we could offer to the weekly low, which would be here, and that would be fantastic. I would take every penny of that. And so far, this is the 1 hour chart. We do have a little gap down here. That's regular trading hour gap. it's weird because the 1 hour it stops here. But if we put it on the 1 minute, I'm gonna do it over here. 1 minute settlement is actually there. Could we start falling out of bed and get all the way down here? I mean, yesterday's these aren't lines aren't right. I need to fix them. But these are right. So this was yesterday's low, and that's where we settled. Right now we're trading about half the gap, and we just keep going up and down there. Did we make it through? We did make it through that fair value gap. Now we're wanting to revisit round number. Might get stopped again. So this was the inversion fair value gap. This would be our downside right here, and I'm hoping it gets respected. It's small, but it's right there. And it would be an orangutan. Oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Orange guy. There we go. Right there. That wicks low and this wicks high. It's the one I'm looking at for the fair value gap. And I want candle bodies closing below it and for it to be respected. It can poke 100, that's okay. But we want the candle bodies to finish below it for more downside. So far, they're respecting it. Neat. We don't have another one on the 1 minute chart. We've been a lot of high resistance liquidity this week. It's difficult to stay in a trade. You end up getting stopped at break even a lot. Okay, so we're trying to push above it with a candle body here, but we're still at 31 seconds on this candle, so it could still finish lower. We open below the center portion. We're pushing into round number, not alarming at all. Okay, so we're still respecting it right now. This candle's still got some time on it, 10 seconds. Hopefully we continue to push down. I think that's where we're going. I would like to see a mass exodus, absolute fall out of bed down to here. While we're waiting for that to happen, I'm going to fix these candle lines for here. So our regular trading hour, 4 hour, this is the one forming right now. So we need one here, and that one's good. And that's the high of today. Yeah. Let's go back to the 1 minute chart. And we're back to that fair value gap again. It's really working it. This touch to me says algorithmic. So I'm pretty confident in holding this trade just because of that. But we'll look at it in a 1 minute time frame over here on the ES. See that? It's a small little fair value gap. I mean, it was little bitty. Oh, that's the first presentation fair value gap right there. And so then yeah, that was a touch of the first presentation fair value gap to the tick, that big run up. Look at that. somebody wanted in there. So ICT always says to leave this on your chart if it's in play. If we've moved a million miles away from it, probably not going to revisit it. But if we're dancing around it, like all of this was just dancing around it, but once we inverted it again, we came back to it to the to the tick. I mean, look at that. Didn't even make it to the volume imbalance. But that rip, whatever that was, somebody had a big order right there to go short. And so we've got, I don't know what that one is. I'm going to get rid of it. I think it's on a 15-second chart. I'm going to get rid of it. And we'll look at this one right here as our line in the sand for our push to the downside. And that would be the same as what we have over here. You can see all these wicks stayed, all the candle bodies stayed below that fair value gap. Wicks do damage, candle bodies tell the narrative. So yeah, we're continuing to push. So my question is, do I take profit at settlement if it gets there? Or do I try for a weekly low? I'd love to have a weekly low, but I'm so far in the hole, I think I'm going to go for the lowest hanging fruit, which would be settlement. And then just see how it reacts when it gets there. I might try to get in on one more. You can see here we just put up another fair value gap, or we're trying to the downside with a volume imbalance. There's a little one here, and then this one's forming now. And you'd like to see those stay open. So how are we responding? This was the low of the day right here, and we just took it out. So we could go back up from here. I'm going to move my stop to just above this fair value gap candle. Just in case we decide to rip back higher, because we did take out the opening range low just now, which I do not have marked, but that's the opening range low here. It's actually a little bit higher. We took it out early, but that's the low of the day. We just took it out. So I'm hoping we continue down here, but a range day, we would take out the low and then go higher. Just don't know if we're in a range day or what the case is. That volume imbalance there, 82, 82. I could see that getting revisited. I'm going to put my stop there because if we revisit this volume imbalance, I can take another short there. And that way I'll preserve some of this profit. If we continue to flush, then it's not a problem. But revisiting that volume imbalance right here is a possibility. Especially after we tap into 50. This one got to 50 even. Didn't have much of a bounce. Went back to 70, 20-point bounce. Let's look at a higher time frame here. So we have the gap here as possibility. As far as from open down to gap fill, we're almost to the 75% mark. All right, now we're continuing to flush. I like that. How low will she go? I'm going to take it off at 26,000, and then if it continues to flush, I'll try to get back in. I'll do it 26,000 even. We'll probably push back higher before we go to that number. What do y'all think? Should I give it an opportunity to go lower? $20 is usually a bounce point. We have a new fair value gap there forming. I'm going to go ahead and move it down to 54. I don't know. That's yesterday's afternoon low. If we were to just start ripping lower past settlement, I'm going to give it an opportunity to do that, but I'm not expecting it to do that. I'm expecting it to touch settlement and then start pulling back the other direction. But I'm going to give it the opportunity to do that just in case it wants to, because sometimes it'll rip 100 points past, surprise everybody. I would love to see it go back to the new week opening gap, but I really don't expect that. But afternoon low from yesterday, that's a possibility. But it really have to start ripping lower. There it does its dance. Yeah, I'm taking it off for now. I think we're coming back to this volume imbalance for sure. So I would call that an A plus setup. That was my fifth trade. I did two A plus in the early when we started this run up and lost them both. So I've had three type A trades, one pure gamble. Gamble was a loss. Um, one win, two losses on the type A's, and that's definitely a type A. I am starting to journal my trades. A type A would be I waited for the setup and I won. And a type B is you wait for your setup. So actually, I had two type Bs. I wait for my setup, everything looks right, and then I lose. And so on that case, I did lose, but I the trade setup was good. So I've had five trades today, and yeah, that one was about a little over 50 points profit. I still think we're going lower, but I don't want to endure this pullback at the expense of my P&L. So I'm going to try to. I'm thinking this fair value gap right here with volume imbalances on both sides, well, on one side, I think that might be a point where we would reverse, but I don't want to anticipate that and go ahead and put in. Whenever you see a fair value gap with a volume imbalance, you always include the volume imbalance. And the volume imbalance is this little gap where the candle bodies don't meet. And there's another one right here, but it's not necessarily a fair value gap. It's just a volume imbalance. And we have dead equal highs there. So we could go all the way back up to there. This fair value gap is being filled in right now, and we're already above the halfway point. I can just put one of these on there to show you that. All the way down, halfway point. Yeah, we got candle bodies closing above for sure. So we're going to let this run up play out. I still think downside's the possibility. We did touch that one, reject a little. Don't know that we're done. How would we know we're done? Well, we would see, I would go to a 15-second chart and I would see a reversal pattern here off of this thing. So we would need to start inverting some of these fair value gaps. We'll go back to a 1. I would like for that volume imbalance to fall with a wick. I'm tempted to lock for the day, guys, just because I've had such a rough 6 days. You can see my performance stats. So qualifying day number 1, profit but not qualified. Qualifying day number 2, nice day. Lose, lose, lose. Qualifying day number 3, lose. Profit but no qualify. Lose. Qualifying day, qualifying day. So that's it. I'm qualified for a payout. And then I lost Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I finally got some profit today. And that's the name of the game. Every combine, I mean, every XFA I've ever had, I trade big size and I can't endure this type of drawdown. I traded big size this day. I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and put on a big contract. And I got my butt handed to me immediately. Then I tried to get it back, got it handed back again. And so all the rest of them here, I think this day, one of these days, I put on 5 micros a couple of times and got smoked. And so now I'm to the point where I've really got to keep my size small or I'll blow it up. And I'm not in the position to want to blow up any more accounts. This much drawdown to me is horrific. But I mean that's what I did, so I've just got to figure out a way to dig myself out of the hole. So on my chart it shows I've had 5 trades, but on there it says I've had 6. Did I miss one? Oh, I did. I took a long, but I thought I took it in. Oh man, I didn't get filled over here. That was my combine. I had an order in, I thought. Oh yeah, it was way up there. Look at that. It missed me by a tick. I put in an order because I've been over here clicking like a crazy man over here on my combine. And I just started this yesterday and I've already at $1,100 in the hole. But look at that. It missed me by a freaking tick. Oh man. Let's see. High is 58 and I'm at 58.75. So 3 ticks. Oh man, here we go over here. We're falling out of bed and I'm missing it. Okay, so we did. Man, I missed that one. We did end up touching that fair value gap. We did not take the volume imbalance. So now we've made it to settlement. I missed that rundown. So now what do? What I would normally do is try to get back in somewhere with a continuation trade. But I don't know. That right there, that little fair value gap right there did the trick. I should have been paying attention instead of showing you all my stats. So, yeah. Wicked into it right there. There's the high. Wicked into it. That's algorithmic price delivery right there. 53, 53 half, 2 ticks. Fall out of bed. Let's look at that 15-second chart because this I consider to be a bearish breaker. And then we did pull away with the small fair value gap and then another one. Could have got filled right there for another downside move. So we've taken settlement. From a 15-second chart perspective, we've just validated a breaker to the upside. But we're also extremely bearish. I want to jump back in, but oh, I missed my op right there. Showing y'all all my fancy stuff, all my failures. I'm gonna do a one of these days. I'm gonna do a 1 micro challenge. That's what I'm doing right now is 1 micro anyway. But I'm gonna do it on a combine because I think there is no way you can blow up your account if you only trade 1 micro and you put orders in like this one. This one would have been a loss, but typically when we do the 4 hour, I'll do it over here. I'm tempted to take a long here from a 1 minute perspective. Let's take a peek. 15-second chart. We went back down to it, pulling away with the fair value gap. I think I will. Oh no, I can't do it over here. Fair value gap is not staying open. I think I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, so let's get over here and let's hide all these lines for a minute. And let's put on a 4-hour regular trading hour chart. Okay, so my hypo is you could place a limit order at a 4-hour high like this one right here. And so you just do that, limit sell 1 micro right there with a $200 stop loss and a $200 take profit. And most of the time you're going to make $200. So this one, 19 points above, well, maybe 20 points above, and then pull back. But we ended up opening above here. So I don't know if that one would have worked out, but most of the time. So this one here, you would place a limit order to go long here. So let's just limit by 1 right there. But actually, and then this one would have pushed through it. That was yesterday. So it would have to go 100 points to stop you out. Let's see how far it went. Almost. It went 92 points and then went back up. How high did it go up? Your order's right at the base of that. I don't know if it went up 82, if it went up 100 or not. Let's put that on there and we'll go to a 1 minute. We'll just see. Okay, so that was the bottom of it. So that would have been the 4-hour low. Did we go back up 100 points after clipping it? This looks like it's going to drop out of bed. I need to get my order out of here before it does. So yeah, you would have entered there. You need 100 points. Didn't quite get it. But you would have had profit on the trade. Even if it killed you at the end of the day, you would have had profit on the trade. So that one would have been a profitable trade. Don't know about the other one. So yeah, we're continuing to fall here. Got another fair value gap to the downside. Definitely want to get rid of that order. Let's see if it stays open. I like one of these up here for an entry. And that one, so far it's staying open. It's really small, but it's staying open. But 80, back to round number, that's a real common transition. Hmm. So this one's staying open. And we're continuing to push. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing out here. But can't Can't chase. Can't chase. That's the way you eat up all your P&L. So we have one fair value gap here, another one starting to form. This could go the end wall. This could go fill a gap. It's pushing a lot further than settlement, that's for sure. One green candle and a sea of red. Can we get back above it? This this is another fair value gap to the downside right here. Oh, this is on a 15-second. We need to go to a 1 minute. There we go. Get back up there to a point I could enter. I would probably try to enter here or possibly settlement. That looked like it hit a level it liked. Oh yeah. This is a fair value gap from yesterday. It took that level and right there is 60. Get me back up there. I want to see how it reacts to this. It may go on to settlement. That may have been the low. That may have been all it wanted because you could see it definitely reacted. And if we're looking at like a 15-minute chart, that's not there. 5-minute chart, yeah, right there. That's the low we just took. And you can see price reacted to it. And so that would be a 5-minute fair value gap, which is kind of a powerful signal. I still think we're offering lower, but I would like to get in a better spot. So if we pushed up, we had an immediate rebalance. This is the hardest part. This is what chews up my P&L. Trying to find a place to get back in. My entry up there was wonderful. Anything else from here, it's going to be risky. This one's an upside, so we're going to make it blue. Do we have any 5-minute fair value gaps on this move down? There it is, touching that one again. I think that one's one right there, the one we went back to. You see right there on a 5-minute chart, including the volume imbalance. That's it. That's the one we went back to. I don't know that we'll get that high, but it definitely liked bouncing off of that one. And we wicked into this. That's a 1 minute. 5-minute doesn't show up. Push you through. And going back to settlement. Candle body still respecting it. And can you come back up to this one? I wouldn't mind that, not one bit. You come back up to here, or the first press. First presentation did work today. It was nice. All right, back to settlement. This one is no longer a point of contention unless we use it as an inversion. So I'm going to delete it. Back to 26. This is a balanced range, but we could push to the high. 80 to 20 rotation is pretty common, but we went all the way down to 57. It's a 5-minute high, 5-minute high. Man, long here off of a 15-second breaker would have been nice. Look at that. Always got to be looking for longs. That's nice. Entry, a tick above the low of that candle. 78 half. That's 79 half. 79 quarter. And that would have been at 78, 75. Would have missed me by a tick. This right here, this orange line, is 75% of the gap. That's 50% of the gap. The gap we opened with. And you notice how price reacted to it there. And that's also corresponds well with this fair value gap. I've been playing around with those quadrants, just putting quadrants on particular wicks. One day I did it on the opening range, the first minute of the day, and price just bounced back and forth between the first minute quadrants. First minute was a 20-minute candle. I'm not going to show it to you right now because this is a 1-minute chart. So our breaker on this 1-minute chart is right here. And it would be purple. And we could go all the way back up to the highs. It's Friday, range days are common. But what would we need to get involved in a trade here? We would need a fair value gap above the breaker, and we would need it to get respected. So far, we don't have one. Oftentimes, I will, on a continuation, I will use a failed validation of a breaker as an entry point. So it's going up, it's trying to validate it, but it just can't get it done. working into this fair value gap, and we have another one here. But the market moves to these inefficiencies, so you just got to be real careful. Right now, I see relative equal highs that could get popped. I could also put a line on that 15-second breaker. I'll do it over here so we don't get confused. But yeah, this is a 15-second breaker here. Put a line there. And also that fair value gap beneath it. I mean, right above it. Put one there. And just watch if price comes back down here and reacts to that. That might be a position to go long. And maybe we aim for something like this if they don't get taken out right now. Just watch. I've noticed I do that a lot where if I'm bearish on the day, Fed Bostic agrees with Powell. They're talking about December price cuts. That's probably what's moving it around so much. But I've noticed if I'm bearish on the day, I won't really look for longs. And if I'm bullish on the day, I don't really look for shorts. And I need to get rid of that bias and just read the price action. Because there's definitely some opportunity here. I mean, this is so far we did validate that, respected, and now we're just continuing up. And we could continue up the rest of the day. From the breaker to where we are right now, that's 54 points. It's $100 on one micro. Not bad. Now we pushed away from this consolidation with a fair value gap. I want to see what it does when if it gets here. I want to see what happens. Because we do have fair value gaps over here. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on a 1-minute chart. Maybe fair value gap here to the downside. That could be a reversal point. This is the 75% of the gap. That could be a reversal point, which would correspond well with that. And this, is that our first prez? No. That was the fair value gap that I thought price might react to and then move on back down to settle. And then, well, that's the one I missed, I think. But no, that's where I got in. That's where I got in. And then I got out around here. We're moving into that time of day that it likes to take all my money that I made. Because it'll give a signal where I'm thinking, oh, yeah, we're doing this. And then it doesn't do it. So far, this thing is respecting the halfway point. But we do not have a fair value gap above the breaker. what I would be looking for more upside here is we leave this high, pull back to the breaker or the settlement, one of these fair value gaps, and then make a higher low, and then start pushing towards it. That's what I would like to see for a upside move. I'm going to put on there. This is a 15-second. And this one is our 1 minute. All right. It looks to me like we're respecting that one, but I'm not willing to risk any money on it yet. Hmm. 12:30 New York time. I usually will see a move around the 12:30 New York time. 12:45. We still don't have a fair value gap above the 1 minute breaker, so I guess if we come back and touch it and then create one, that would be sweet. But being that close to settlement, I would like to see it make a higher low and then start pushing. I watch the big contract and I trade the little one because it definitely trades differently. Or this one will put up a 20-point wick, where this one maybe only puts up a 5-point wick. I've seen it happen a lot. The candle highs are not the same. They're tracking pretty good today. This one's high is 36.75, and this one's high is 36.75. But we had a situation, I think it was this one. It may have been the pre-market deal where there wasn't even a breaker over here on this one. It may have been this one right here. Let's just look. So we're not getting involved in the trade right there. Oh, that one had it. So I think it may have been in the pre-market situation where there was no breaker on MES, but there was on NQ. Let's try extended just for a minute. Extended. Okay. So yeah, let's look at this one. The pre-market high. I think it was that candle right there that I marked out as a breaker. And over here, see on an MNQ, this candle was red and this candle was green. And so if you were just marking out the MNQ, you would have marked this one. And you didn't get a fair value gap until here, and you really wouldn't have had an entry. But on NQ, you got the fair value gap here, entry was here, and you're good to go. So I use this for my signals and I use this for my trading because I'm just not prepared to take 20 points a tick, $20 a point rather, right now. All right, so we're pushing lower. And we'll go back to RTH. I just like to see it without all the noise of the evening session because the evening session kind of sucks. All right, so we are pushing lower. We did react to that fair value gap pretty nicely. We're through settlement. Let's see how we react to this one. Are we going to respect it and continue higher? Or are we going to make a higher low? This is a 15-second fair value gap here, not the 1 minute. We did take that 1 minute wick there. So right now, we did leave the highs. We are touching the fair value gap on the 15-second chart. This would be considered a higher low. But with settlement right there, still a little sketchy. I wouldn't mind seeing this start trading up above here again. Invert this guy. We can get a fair value gap to the upside off of this 15-second breaker. Then I would try to enter along. Currently higher low. 15-second breaker respected. But you could also make an argument for the downside too. We pushed up, tried to make a new high, couldn't, and now we're falling out of bed again. So you could make an argument for either side right now. On the 1 minute chart, this, which corresponds with that halfway point, is a bullish order block. And we have not violated it. 12:45. Sneak it up on us. New York time. Well, we certainly didn't touch it and leave town. Typically, I like to see it leave town like it did when it touched that fair value gap up here. Leave town. That's kind of making me believe we could possibly have more downside. We're going to push through this thing. Mm-hmm. Could still be a higher low. It could still finish above. Oh, yeah, look at that. Still respected that fair value gap. 20-point rip. Oh, man. Something interesting. I'm going to have so many boxes here. This being the bearish order block, the bullish order block. You want candle bodies respecting the halfway point. Look where that wick touched. Interesting. I'm going to take this one off so we don't have so much stuff there. This one's the 5-minute fair value gap where we bounced. You can label it. This one is the bullish order block. And this is settlement. I don't always label them if I'm not live streaming, but I know it's handy to have that label if you're learning this stuff. I do like that we made a higher low and that we are pushing away. If we can get a fair value gap to the upside, I'm going to take a long here. Currently, we're respecting this fair value gap with a possibility of more downside. Keep in mind our 1 minute breaker is here. I have it marked on M and Q. Are we dropping or are we ranging? This is probably the best price action trading I've done in a while. Having y'all watch me makes me clean up my act a little bit. I probably would have taken 500,000 trades by now. Just hoping that was right. It looks like we're going to push lower to me right now, and that would be something I would jump on. But I want to see it violate that order block, and then I'll use it, the center of it, as my entry if it does push through it. I'm going to move this so our words aren't right on top of the candles for me. So we're still with candle bodies respecting that halfway point. But it is looking like we're going to pull back, have a little more downside. Just the way we wicked into that volume imbalance, to me, looked like it was saying, I'm running a stop, and now I'm going to go back down. I'm going to get some coffee. Does anybody want coffee while I'm making it? All right, I like that. Made a new low. So I would want my entry to be right about middle of that, 66. And then I'll move it down. $66. Uh-oh, didn't get filled. It touched it here, but it didn't over here, I guess. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, so that may have just been making a new low and now we go up. But it's a risk you got to take. I liked all that gap and all that stuff below, and we've got this inefficiency on the 5 minute that could use some trading through, and this yesterday's afternoon low down here that, I mean, that's a possibility, but we could also go straight back to settlement. So it's really a crapshoot here, but I do like the possibility of more downside here. I'd like to see a hard flush, get past the 50s, and just keep on going. We shouldn't offer higher from here, so I'm going to take my risk off. If we're going to go, we should go here. We shouldn't come back up. So there's no need in leaving your risk on in that situation. Very nice. Very nice. Finally got that coffee made. Sometimes my Keurig takes a long time to get the last few drops. I'm going to try to add one here. I'm going to try to do it in the middle of this. So that would be at 940. Man, it would be better if it could get back to 50, but I'll wait and see if this fair value gap stays open. Well, that's 43 seconds away. But 50 would be the better spot. But if this stays open, then definitely not. And then I'll try to add one more micro to it and keep my stop at break even, hopefully. So it didn't stay open. Going back to 50 is definitely common. There's a volume imbalance right there. You see that? I think that's where I'll try to add. Come on, poke it. Oh, you touched it. You dirty rat. Touch my line. Didn't even feel it. Almost filled it. I'll wait for that candle to finish and see what happens. I'm going to do the halfway point of that, I guess. We should poke that, huh? There we go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now we're back to my entry. Now we're in jeopardy of losing the trade. I'm going to take my risk off just in case. Come on, fall out of bed, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. You know you want to. Ah, it's going to get me. Oh well, I can always get back in. I can always get back in. I hate it when it misses my fill by a tick, but I don't mind a bit when it misses my stop by a tick. Isn't that funny? That could have got me out of this trade right there. You know, I have so little profit going on right now. I'm tempted to kill it. I'm gonna preserve a little more because I we should stay above the halfway point of that wick, or we're taking that sucker out. One of the two. Fall out of bed, you rotten, dirty snake. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep going, keep going. Don't even, don't even. Just keep going. We're in the 20s. We're in the 20s. Can we keep on pushing the round? Yeah. In this situation, I'm always thinking take your profit at round number because it always bounces. Always bounces. I want to see a flush, like a 100-point candle to the downside here. Take out yesterday's low. I've got my line just a little bit off. There we go. So it's at 853. Can we get there? Sure could have had a max profit day on that combine. But my priority is here. Right, so we have another fair value gap to the downside. If you haven't already joined this move, that would be a really good spot to join it if it doesn't get traded through. Right there. And there's another little one right there. I'm going to move my profit to the top of that thing so I at least make a little bit on this trade. Oh, yeah. I like that push. But that just filled that fair value gap right there. Really pulled back a long way. It was reactionary for sure. So that was that 5-minute fair value gap from yesterday afternoon. I'm going to take it off for a minute, preserve this profit, and I might try one more, maybe at this fair value gap here. We'll see how it reacts around this one. It definitely wanted to pop when it took out that 5-minute fair value gap. We got this little one here, and we got that little one there. I'm going to change the color of this one to orange so we can tell the difference. And there's this one. We got a volume imbalance there. So you can see the volume imbalance right there. So we could be reacting off a bit. We could reverse here and go to the moon, but I highly doubt it. Okay, so yeah, we apparently reacted off of that. I just don't know if I want to risk any more money. I've had 2 good trades there. And the next one could be the loser and take all of it back, or part of it back. So that was, I guess it was trade number 7. I missed one somewhere. But I hit 2, so it'll say 8 or 9 or 10. Something I've noticed watching these charts a lot of times, this bullish order block up here will oftentimes work as a point. Like it'll go up there and touch it, or maybe go all the way back to the halfway and then reject. Or that 5 minute fair value gap may have been the low for the day. It definitely reacted off of it. And from a 1 minute chart perspective, we haven't had a fair value gap to the upside yet, but we have validated a bullish breaker here. So these were both traded through. I'm taking them off. The 5 minute fair value gap is still in contention, but we just now pushed through the halfway point a bit with candle bodies. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take it off. And then we'll be focusing on either a breaker inversion or the order block inversion for more downside. Right now, we have this as a potential bullish breaker right there. And it would be a purple, a solid line. There we go. And a failed breaker is also a good indication for more downside. But we'll treat it just like we did this one up here. We made it a lower high, and then we invalidated this order block. So we entered here at the center for further push down. So we would do the same thing with this one. If we invalidate this order block, then we will use it as our entry point for more downside. And we can use the bottom of it or the top of it or the center of it. That's the bottom of it there. We want to see candle bodies closing below it. So there's one closing below. So now I want to try to enter right about the center, and that would have filled me right there. Let's just try one at the center, see if we can get filled. And I'll go to stop. I'll go to break even immediately if I can get a chance. So it ended up going almost to the top. So this would be trade number 8, I guess. I'm pretty sure I only had 5 because I wrote down every one of them. So trade number, I'm going to just put 6 and 7. So trade number 7, inversion. Inversion of a bullish breaker. Entered at the halfway point. I'm going to try to push to round number at least. We do have a volume imbalance there. And we could get stopped. I don't want to give back any money. That's why I'm at break even already. Yep, we did. So that's it for me on this little setup here. It could continue down. I think it probably will come down to this, at least a round number. But I'm not sure. That was actually a halfway point touch of this order block. That was the halfway point. So if I would not have moved my stop so quickly, I probably could have stayed in this trade. What I could try one more would be right here at 16. I could try one more, but it's going to be in and out quick. But I think we'll take round number. So I'll go ahead and try one more. I'm going to see if this one will get a good push down to here. But we could reverse here. It may not want to go round number. I don't like that we're not getting past the halfway point of this wick right here. You see over here that order block or that bearish breaker, how the candle bodies are just going back up and touching the bottom of it. That could change at any time, but I've seen that happen a lot. It inverts those suckers, and so I'm a little confident that we're going to continue. I'm going to go ahead and go to break even again. I don't want to lose any money. There we go. Nice push. I'm going to take it off right there. It got my round number. A push back to 20. Very, very possible. All right. So trade 7. We made about, I don't know, $20 or so. I think there's probably some more opportunity for downside here, but I have screwed my account so much that I'm a $269 day. I'm up 503. I mean, and I've said I'm not going to take more. Let's see what my trade count is now. So it's 10 trades. I would like to see that number under 10 or at 10, no more than 10. So I'm going to call it. That's my Friday. I feel like I traded well today. First time this week. I didn't overtrade. I did take a few more, but I mean that's what I typically do is those little scalps. If I would have stayed in my original trade today, it would have been a whole lot better situation. We did go back up to entry, but it would not have stopped me out. So once again, my original trade would have been a wonderful trade, probably a lot more than $269. Let's take a peek at that before I'm going to go ahead and lock out here. You know, y'all can see me do it. All right, there we go. We're done. And I'm just curious if I would have my original entry was right here at the fair value gap. Or I actually entered right there. So at 45, I entered in this tiny little fair value gap on this one of these two candles here. I tick below that high, so it's at 149. I think I actually got in at 145. So this pushed back to the first press with 8 points. I would have been fine because my stop was at 25 points. So from entering there to where we are now, which I had my take profit at settlement. Let's see if I would have made more money than if I would have just done all that scalping business. It's a little bit off, so that's 152. So that's $304 on one micro if I would have just left it alone. Versus 269 getting involved in all that craziness. I think I took it off here and then I re-entered there for another push down. But that entry would have been fine for settlement and made me 304 on one, 608 on two, and I think I had two on at some point. Maybe it was here, but yeah. I pulled one of these and Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm happy. I had a winning day. I traded well. Um, I do want to point out, see this breaker? Look how those candle bodies are acting. Back to the top of it, back to the bottom of it, pushing lower. Make sure you frame those in when you're having a directional move like this, because it will invert those suckers. It does use them. So keep an eye on that. I might trade my combine a little bit, see if I can catch a few points in it, because I screwed around in Asia last night and just got absolutely eaten alive over there. And I was trading full size minis. Just stupid. I hope y'all have a good weekend. I hope y'all are learning from all of my mistakes. We'll talk to y'all next time.